things are not going well. Not in the world, not for me, not in this channel, and not for freelancers, not for people that want to do independent things. Anyone can notice we have now entered 2020. It's February of 2020, and things look grim. Things look extremely grim in many aspects. Slowly but surely, something terrible is going to happen. I look at the world, I feel that is the case, to be honest with you. I'm not sure how many of you look at the news, look at what's happening outside. But like in the 1920s, going forward to 1940s, it is. I feel things are going to be changing drastically. Looking at the world around us, but also looking at individual lives, looking at all the creators, composers, artists, and etc. I feel things are going badly, and I wanted to talk. I wanted to tell you things truthfully, because at this point I have not really shared the failings I've done myself and what things are happening around. Things are not going well, not at all, not in a long shot. For this channel, I have not done a good job. I have very much given up on it, and for a reason. I don't know. Do you feel it? Can you see it? But this platform we are using, it's failing. It's things are going worst day by day. And let me show a graph right now on the screen about this platform and about the place I'm doing videos right now too. And it's not going well for it, I tell you. Look at how the graph is going down, down, down from 2016 and onwards. And it is because of that, because of the fact that creators are restricted. Not me, I'm not talking about myself. But this place is slowly turning to be a North Korea. And I'm not joking in that. People really think that perhaps they are living at the free times of the world. But think this and understand this. When we go back to a time like Soviet Union, there people, writers, people that did work for art, they had to hide their messages. They had to make sort of alternative message ways to get their true meaning across, and they had to put words that they did not believe in front of their books and covers in order to get above the restrictions that have now been placed upon us. It's horrid, and we have sort of let this happen. I've let this happen, you have let this happen, and the world is now going through it. And of course, what one man can do against this. But this is how what is happening. These platforms, these places that we are now using as our social conventions, they have turned against us. And they restrict our access to each other, but they very much restrict the ideas we're able to put out. And this is horrid. This is something, like, if you think about these social medias, it's horrifying. And of course people are still going to go by their days. People are going to still live their lives. Like in people in Soviet Union and in North Korea, these places, people still live their lives. But I feel things are just going to get even much worse. I have looked at the information. It's not yet in places like Europe that much, but looking at the USA, some people with that, because of their ideas, things that actually do not hurt anyone, they have been restricted to use bank accounts and such. And these are just one of the first steps to going to very creatively dry world. This is the way how great civilization fall down. Western civilizations and other ones as well. Like these are the first steps to a world that is going to be broken. Mark my words, this is going to happen sooner or later. Something big is going to happen to the worst if things are not fixed, and things are not getting fixed as we speak. Now, you might be confused why I'm talking this, why I'm telling you this, why I'm talking with this sort of grim idea of future. And know this, I'm not talking about it because I feel happy to. It's like people, you can notice it, things are not going well. And personally, on this channel of mine, of course, it's a music channel. I have put down some music that I'm a fan of, trying to recreate them as you have seen, and also some own works, but I do not like it at all. I have of course failed in the way that I have not done it in a good way. I have not been doing the best strategies to put it out and get people in to the system and such. At least on this channel. I work on another channel that is actually successful and is in Finland. So like I've noticed that depending on what you do and to where you do it, it might work. But for this channel, for the things I'm doing here, not so much. And I want to directly say to you, I hate making videos. I hate creating this thing. Because imagine this. You have a group of people in front of you. Let's say 10 or 15 people. They're your friends. They like you. They already know you. You do not need to convince them to listen to you at all. You don't need to do that. They are going to listen what you say. Imagine that there's a wall. There's this great sort of invention made that puts the ideas and thoughts of your friends and yourself to this sort of like wall that you can easily access. Like every kind of lovely life situation and idea they have is by that machine brought to you. You don't need to even talk anymore. People stop talking. You can still exchange ideas, but you stop talking. But one day you find out that once you have forgotten how to speak, you do not get all the ideas you used to get within this machine. You get only ideas that are low level, sort of ideas that do not actually change things around you. They are something that are easy, safe, and this machine, you have relied on it, and now it has become your mother. Sort of this mother figure that is in a worst kind of mother, because it controls what you speak. And this is what we have accepted. And this is what I'm most worried about. It's not because, I want to, get big or something, because I know that within these machines I'm not able to. I would, if I would put more time on the content I'm doing, because I've noticed in several months and years, as I've worked on the other channel that is successful, the fact is that, of course, people watch quality stuff, and you need to get that quality stuff regularly in front of people's faces. I hate editing videos. I tell you, I have no fondness on editing videos. And when it comes to success and making money outside of this, I've not been able to do that. I work on projects. I get paid on that. I've learned now some coding language. I'm doing some projects on that, getting paid. That is what I'm doing right now. That is the route I've been able to find outside of this, and I'm so happy because of it. I did hate doing videos here. I hated it. It's something that once you really like start pushing it, I did push it at some points that I put almost every week like 3 videos and such. But when you do it, when you just sit back, like there were many parts that just didn't work for me. One of them, which of course was that if like 3 videos, and if you edit them and such, especially with my limited skills, I'm very bad in video editing. I tell you that much. Even after these years, I can do very limited stuff. So the fact is that combining this together to a channel that should make videos, it's not the wisest of ideas, and I did fail in that, and I did fail people that subscribe here and look at me right now. Perhaps people even watch this video right now that subscribe for looking at these remakes and such, and I'm very grateful for that. I'm being positively very much encouraged by people that contact me and say you thank you for making this theme, looking at the remakes for Mardek, this sort of idea that for that very lost game there was this sort of feeling of nostalgia, like a church of nostalgia, and as a thing like Mardek, which is now very limited in its creation and it has not been done at all, it's very, I can understand why that is and why people want to seek it, and I was very happy to do that for people. I was, and I'm still, I would still want to do it, but the thing is like that, I need to chase the ways of getting income, because I'm now turned 23. I'm just getting 23 now, and in that age, you cannot any longer take these things like hobbies. The most important and precious resource anyone has is its time, your time. It's always degrading, going away by every second. And at this age, like of course when I was younger, I could spend much more time to games, to playing things, to just overall have time for those sort of activities that might have not made, of course, money because you're a young person. But in this age, every second counts, especially if you do like a company like I'm doing right now, which I started last year, and it's focusing on making creations of coding, art, games, and animation. That is its focus, and very much I put a lot of time to it, and there have been already some successes on that. Projects that I cannot really say anything about right now, but they are in making. Usually creations for these things take some time to make. But things are not going well on this channel side of things. Let me tell you my naive idea how I wanted to do this and make this successful. 2 years ago, I thought, hey, I made the better logo. My old logos were horrible, and I thought, hey, I now want to put this eluukkanen thing much more forward. So what I did was an idea that I do remakes, original music, and sometimes some highly edited videos. And it was a very painful thing. I've been now much less stressful because I'm being away here. It's you don't know the feeling of just being able to get some time for yourself, and seeing that you are doing much more fruitful things that actually carry things to your home, like money and such. And of course you're able to see your own touch much more. It's good. And the fact is that when I did that sort of period of constantly working and my mental health kind of went down because I work too much. I'm a workaholic by nature. If I do not guard it, I will get myself destroyed, essentially. And with the YouTube thing, the fact is that if I would make better videos in terms of editing and such, and what people want to see, I would need to do only few videos, but then I would need to do much more work to make those videos. The thing is that, like in YouTube space right now, the thing is, I wanted to personally make the whole things that I'm doing right now here. I wanted to make that I'm able to, do financially, some perhaps not AdSense itself, but do Patreon sort of things in order to make the more work of like this. Because I tell you, like if I put time to our remakes, if I put time to all of this, it takes time, and I wanted to have a 2-year period of okay. I am going to work hard. If after 2 years it's fruitful, I'm going to be continuing as it is. And I failed in that because of my own sort of like I think I failed myself on my behalf much more than any one of you there, because it's not like if you have like people supporting you, it's not given. You have to do the work. People are not your like friends in a sense that they have to fund everything that you do. I did Patreon, and I used that. I feel I didn't deliver that well in there, and that's why some people left there. And I have, of course, have hard time to getting people to support me on Patreon on the work I do, even though there are people that like things I do. Because I don't know, I just it's what people like. Of course, money is hard to find for people, and such and such. I don't want to really go to speculate on that, because ultimately it's my fault that I have not been able to be successful here, and that is the truth. And having those words said, I will probably do less of this right now from this moment on. I have this idea of that if I say these words to you, I will reach like 20 of you, and even like only like if I look at the percentage of people that actually watch these to the end, I think I'm going to get like 1 person or 2 person to look at this to the end. So, or I might be actually talking to our empty room. Who knows? Who knows? But know this, I'm going to be away, but I'm going to work on projects. I'm going to perhaps do some videos here, but they are like my problem is that I have not much knowledge on what should I do really going forward. I have no idea. Like I could go forward with the remakes. All right, I would be able to make people happy by providing them that. But that does not really provide me the stuff I really wanted to make from this. What I wanted on this is the fact that, okay, if I deliver some nostalgic things to people, I might be perhaps making the Patreon thing that, I would be able to do more of this. This was the idea. And it, of course, after this while, I realized that relying on this sort of like, of course some people can do it well in Patreon, but I do not like this sort of idea that you have to do essentially begging in order to live. And if I would go right now on this, I would do much differently. I would sell something perhaps outside of the content. I would of course do a lot of good content, but I would sell something. And make everything money on that. And I don't know how does that sound to you, like Elias, you are just paid shill or something like that. The thing is, like some of you even might work in a full-time job, of course, and I respect that. Work on that, and work then make it bigger. Like I'm doing right now. I'm working on the company, and the company is bringing me the bread and juice to the table. But like I've looked at the information, and I feel I'm not able to really do much well in here, and perhaps because of my personality, or because of my work ethic, or because of the content I'm doing. People do watch the remakes I do, some music I do, but it's very passive content in itself. That if you look at the people that do talk about stuff, like right now I'm here talking about stuff, people much more like listening it. People can engage with it much more. Music is such a passive thing to do, and I know many people are doing them well. But I would do so much personally if I do any kind of content like this. I would want to achieve making some music, remake an original, but as well some videos that I talk about different stuff. And I know I should be in this time and era. I should be working on things that people only want to watch. And if I would do that, I would do only remakes, because those are essentially things that people want to watch, want to listen. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to do only that. I don't want to be known for those. I don't want to. That's what I feel. So I've been failing. I'm a failure in this YouTube place. Gladly, not in everywhere. I'm doing the company. Company is now doing great. I'm getting paid projects, which I'm happy now on the fact. And I'm gathering a community that is essentially a group of creators, animators, writers, and so forth. This group is going to be a very successful one when we start getting income. Let me tell about why. Just in recent weeks, I have talked with a few investors, and those investors would be willing to put some time and money on the eluukkanen thing I'm doing, the group that has these writers and such. And where I would spend that money? Well, I would spend that to get some education on these people. Like, I know connections from game industry, from film industry, and I would get these people to make courses in there, with that money I would get. And also we would do projects. We would do projects that might do well, might not. But the business is going to be the main front of it. We are going to make creations that people want, but also that are going to be artistic and that are going to be making money. That is the goal here. One problem I do see in the social media, people try to chase the point system, like social score. This sort of like idea of, hey, I have 1,000 followers, 10,000 followers. The truth of the matter is that those do not really mean anything. Like, for me, the idea of is that, alright, I have money in order to be investing to creations I do. When I have money enough to invest to creations I do, I can do better creations. Some people have the money as their first focus. For me, the creations is the second focus, because I want to see better creations. My lifestyle, like what I like eat and how I'm doing, that's not big matter to me, because I want to create something great. Of course, it's a bonus, but the thing is, better creations, the better I can do even next time, and better things can be done to you. If we make a game, I want to do a better game. If we do a better book, we want to do even a better book after that, and so forth. That is the focus. And when you look at these internet places like, let's say, this place, and all the social medias, the numbers do not mean anything. Like, I've known from the successful channel I have, that from 100,000 views, I would get $100, essentially. You know, from 1,000 views, I would get around 80 cents and such. And if you put that to 1,000, it's like $80 or $90. It always depends on the advertisements. And those are the AdSense things. Of course, when you do Patreons and such, that would even be bigger. So it depends. And, imagine 10,000 people looking at you right now. Imagine 10,000 people looking at you. That's a lot of power. And that's a lot of things that can be good for you. But $100 is so low amount. I tell you, I tell you, if anyone here, any big company wants to do advertisement, any big company wants to do things that they want to reach 100,000 people, they have to pay much more than $100. I tell you, $100 is like change money or something. Like it's pocket money. It's in this sort of environment when they want to influence you, it's much more expensive. Especially as people are now blocking ads. Much more. I feel many people are chasing sort of like a fake dream. People are like chasing an image of Narcissus, like the narcissistic image of themselves. Like I see some small channels, intermediate channels. I see some large channels that the numbers really affect them. I don't care about the numbers at all. I don't really care in a same sense that they do not bolster my ego. The numbers do not make me feel happier. Quite the opposite, actually, because then you have to actually do good stuff in order to get people much more enjoyed. And at the same time, when I talked about in the beginning of this rant, I suppose, sort of like this message that I put to you. Even if you have that sort of big amount, the platforms restrict what you can do with them. Like, what I would, if I would be big, I would make community projects much more. I would make sort of like, hey, if there's a viewer here, like, can do this, we would ask him to do this, and then we would do a combination project and make that done. Like what I'm doing in eluukkanen, but much bigger sense of the work. Because then if, like, I've seen some people, bigger people, that they sometimes like do, hey, we have an art challenge, or we have like music challenge and such. We have a lot of these work ants of people, like, and I'm not disrespectful. Now these people that very much try to build their own work without realizing that this is a gamble, this place that you are putting your time and effort to. If you do not do high quality stuff, because right now the competition is so hard, you have to do the highest or like TV quality or level of work in order to get noticed. If you're already noticed, you have to even do better. If you have, like, let's say 10,000 followers, and you have got that 10,000 followers with less quality work, you have to do much better. The gold rush is over. Things are like, and the platforms are going down. So like I see this sort of like chase of the dream of getting perhaps a lot of people. It's very folly. And at the same time, looking at some big content creators that actually put their souls out there and create very great stuff, they have harder time to actually trust people. And what I put my most effort to is trying to get contacts that actually matter. I even know that some people in eluukkanen that I do not really personally like in a sense that some of the people in there are this sort of like I don't know, like narcissistic, but this sort of like very self-focused in a sense that if we try to build a community, it's very much something that people of course use that community for, or not putting things in effort to build it, but try to get as much out of it, sort of people. And I do want to find people that are actually worthwhile, and I want to be very, of course, I don't want to name any names, and I don't want to really get any like this sort of like, oh, Elias hates anyone or anything like that. But people do not like everyone. Like, you are not friend of every person in there. Like my internet policy has always been that I might try to be at least neutral to people that I do not actually like. And that has been able to get me far. But what I wanted to really achieve from this thing in here, like these videos, I wanted to achieve the continuation of even bigger projects. Remakes are just the scratch on the surface. And of course people. I've been able to meet some lovely people. In, like, of course, the eluukkanen, we have those people from France, from United States, and these sort of people that are genuine, actually do quite good stuff, and put a lot of time to their artistic work, and at the same time they are not assholes, and you don't know how good combination that is. Like, I cannot say I'm the best person ever. I cannot say that I'm the I have always done the best things, but I want to say that, you know, if like if you look at if you look at ways of getting into a job, let's say you want to be an artist, what really routes are you having? Like, you can of course go online way. Many people do just the recreations of or works that have already been noticed by people, like, you know, doing art for, let's say, Pokemon and such. That works. You can get even money from that, or they do art for something else. You know, let's just say that. But, you know, there can be many ways you can do creations and get your work out there. But online world is closing. And the more I understand it, it's a ladder that is getting thinner and thinner, and many more people want to climb it. You are not able to get far from there, and I'm not able to succeed in here at all. But what if people go to a route that has not been taken? I noticed that the company where I'm doing, like the paperwork and such, I hate it, but I noticed that so little people are taking that route, and I'm able to actually rise up above others because of that. And after realizing that, I just stopped caring about this place at all. I feel I'm not reaching people. I don't feel I'm not perhaps making content that people want to watch. I feel like right now the feeling I have is that 0 people are watching this at this moment of time. Because I look at my graphics, my average viewing ratio is like a 1 minute with my music. Of course, I do so short videos, so 1 minute is alright. But it's kind of like, once you know how short time people watch your creations, and how that you are not actually doing that much growth, it wears you down. Of course I'm not going to be like I'm not going to be destroyed by it. But you get this idea of why actually I do it. Why should I do it? So that's my gist of it. And for you, should you actually go to a route that everyone else is going? Absolutely not. For me, I tried many things, like royalty-free music. I tried to put to some websites my royalty-free music. But, you know, it's not that my music, my own music, what I do is not something that these sites accept. Because there's, of course, if you want to go up to a place that has many people to buying music, there's going to be quality control. And the quality control for me, I'm not going to say that my quality is the worst. It's not the best either. But the styles I'm doing music in is not something that people, like the quality checkers, they don't want to get into those places. Because my music is very much not this sort of commercial things. I have this own kind of style I'm able to create, my style, but it's not for these commercial places. Like, when it goes to music, the only way I'm able to make money on this is individual by individual basis of projects. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to put my all eggs in. If people do not watch this channel on that sort of thing, that's alright. I might not be doing this channel at all if that's the case. Of course, I need to do a better job on getting that idea out there. But that's my feeling on things. My question to you is, dear viewer, what are you going to do? Because the thing is, the online space is closed. You cannot get far here. Only way you can get far is to know the right people. And I don't want to kiss anyone's bottom. Let's just say I don't want to be like that. Because that's not the way you should be able to rise forward. You should be able to rise forward with the quality of your work. And I need to do better quality if I continue making these videos. And you as well. You have to do TV level of quality in order to get people's attention. People are not going to like you just because you do some stuff that maybe people like. but still, it's not a guarantee. I thought that with the remakes I would be actually getting much further, but no. And I get why. It's a miscalculation from my part. So yeah, if you have watched this far, which I do doubt that many have, because I'm realistic here, not many people watch to the end of videos, looking at the graphics. I usually watch every video I look at. I usually watch them to the end, but it seems not many do. Perhaps you have a lot short spams of interests nowadays. But if you got some ideas from this, let me know. Let me know did this resonate with you. I'm going to do more videos, perhaps. I'm going to do better quality, yes. And for the goals I want to achieve, this is not the goal I want to do. The remakes and such. It's not going to be the end of what I want to do. And eluukkanen is going to be the great thing. I'm going to be doing work on eluukkanen because, of course, when it's a common goal, it's much more, let's say, interesting on people. So I'm going to be doing that much more. If eluukkanen is going to be great, I need to do content for it. And perhaps you see it here. Who knows? Who knows? But now, wherever you are, whoever you are, I wish you a good day.